My name is Andrew White alongside Braxton Turner. We are here for the California Vulcans versus Shippensburg today here in some PSAC basketball. Braxton, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good today. Excited to see what both of these teams have to offer.
So we got the California Vulcans sitting at 7-1 and 2-0 in the conference, and Shippensburg Raiders at 1-7 and 0-2 in the conference. A little bit tale of two stories here as the Cal Vulcans have been favored throughout the whole season so far, and the Shippensburg Raiders kind of been somewhat of a rebuilding year, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely a real rebuilding year for them. I'll say 1-7 isn't too great of a record, but you're hoping this team can bounce back, I guess, from there. I guess this early in the season doesn't really say much really until you get into conference play and where you actually see teams you're actually going to see throughout the season. But yeah.
And this is only the Raiders' third away game of the season, as they have actually had 6 home games, being able to pull away 1, and they are 0-2 on the road. So we're going to hope for the same here, as the Vulcans have caught fire as of late, coming off of their huge comeback win earlier this week, as they were down 16 in their last game and managed to come back for the win. It is their 4th straight win.
Yeah, say with a win like that, it just, I guess, attests to this team's mental fortitude. I said any sport is a mental game as much as it is physical, and their ability to come back in that, stay in it mentally is quite a story.
Oh yeah, that was a heck of a game to be at, and we're excited for this one. As the starting lineups for tonight for the California Vulcans: number 3, Alicia Young; number 4, Nina Shaw; number 22, Jordan Smith; number 23, Alyssa Harris; and number 32, Deja Terrell. And then the starting lineup for the Shippensburg Raiders is number 1, Bella Chimenti; Abby Miller, number 12; number 20, Tasia Colbert; number 21, Treasure George; and number 22, Alexis Bowie. We are excited for the matchup here tonight, as the Convocation Center always seems to be a little charismatic, and we don't get a ton of fans here, but we get some passionate fans, and we're excited to host the Shippensburg Raiders here tonight.
Yeah.
As we get started here, we have Alexis Bowie and Deja Terrell at the jump ball, and here we go. And the tip goes out of bounds. That'll be off of Deja, and it'll be the Raiders' ball to start the game.
I'm sorry. Okay, so you don't really quite see that too often. Tip pretty hard, just no one there.
Yeah, when you tip to the side like that, you know. It's a little not as strategic, but it is what it is. As now we have number 12, Abby Miller with the ball. She's going to move it up to number 21, Treasure George. Back over to Bella. This team with 2 freshman players, true freshmen as well, as that, like we said, they're kind of in a rebuilding year, losing one of their better players last year. And that is a 3 by Treasure George, no good. She actually came off a game last, and that is a bucket there by Tasia Colbert. What I was getting started to say was Treasure George came off of a game her last game. She was 6 for 12 from behind the arc, so I'm sure she is looking to get going from beyond the arc. And there's a steal there by none other than Treasure George herself. Shippensburg coming off the basket, and they're going to get the ball on their side of the court as well.
I'm not quite sure what they're checking at the table right now.
I'm going to guess it's some kind of clock issue maybe. That's something you don't like to see this early, but They seem to have gotten it figured out, and we're back in action here. As Tasia Colbert has the ball up top of the key, and she's going to pass it over to Bella. Bella coming off of the screen, and she's looking for somebody at the top of the key. We got Tasia again. Another take, no good. Rebound by Terrell, and the Vulcans are back on offense.
After that easy bucket they gave up the first time, that's a good defensive possession by the Vulcans. One thing I'd like to point out is they're only allowing 61.8 points per game.
Great move there by Deja Terrell underneath for the 2 points.
Terrell definitely a force to be reckoned with. Underneath, just a little step through with a hook shot. Hook shots in the post aren't easy to guard at all.
Pump fake by Bella. She looks down low but travels a little quick on her feet there. And we always say early in the game you're getting those early game jitters out.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure she's she's going to bounce back from that perfectly fine. Nina Shaw at the top of the key, coming off her career-high 20-point game in their 16-point comeback victory last time out. Alicia Young, no good. A little scrabble on the floor. And Tasia Colbert comes up with it. She's going to actually look like she's going to take us all the way. Backs out. Over to Bella at the top of the key. Bella is an aggressive player for a freshman. She shoots a good amount. Hasn't found much success this season as she does have a lower shooting percentage, but it's nice to see a freshman like that have such confidence and be able to get up as many shots as she can as the miss there. And California comes the other way. Nina at the top of the key, setting up the offense. Pass over to Alicia Young. Down low.
Good luck. This ball kind of fumbled. I honestly thought that was off Shippensburg, but I guess just kind of fumbled it there.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a game where we really get a taste of California's offense. In the second half of last game, they really got going and were confident in their play calling. And I believe we're going to see a little bit more of that today as these girls are definitely fired up off that last win. Tasia Colbert bringing the ball up the court for the Raiders. She's going to take it all the way. No good. Rebound by Terrell, and she's going to kick it to Nina Shaw, and the Vulcans are back on offense.
And Shippensburg has got a few shots up, just have yet to really find a rhythm.
And here's Jordan Smith working down low, but that's going to be stolen by Tasia. And stolen back by Nina. A little bit of miscommunication there, a missed layup. Down low, and now a little fight for the ball, and it looks like we're going to get a jump ball, and that should be in possession of the Vulcans.
Man, back-to-back turnovers. It's just been chaotic these last few possessions for both teams.
Yeah, we've definitely been seeing that a lot this season with early in the game, definitely just trading back and forth with turnovers, trying to kind of calm themselves down. As Deja Terrell is going to take a deep three here. Off the rim, no good. And here comes Shippensburg. Treasure George with the ball. Pass it to Abby Miller down low, and she was looking for Alexis Bowie there, but nobody was home as California will take possession.
That's gracious. We have now had 7 turnovers in this game. That's shared among both teams. 3 for Shippensburg and 4 for the Vulcans. Yet either team really finding yet to really have a rhythm.
Pass over to Nina Shaw up in the corner. She's going to take the deep three, and she's going to nail it. Nina Shaw gets on the board for 3 points. Abby Miller passed to Treasure George. George seems to have lost it, but it was tipped off of the Vulcans, and it will stay on this side of the floor. And we see Nina Shaw getting going early on there with the 3 last game. She actually nailed 4 threes with her career-high 20 points, something that we don't usually see from her. But when she's able to shoot the 3, it really opens up the floor, as it looks like they're going to change possession, and it's actually going to be Vulcan's ball after further review.
Yeah, as you were talking about Shaw really, that's a nice piece added to this Vulcans offense, but more so instead of a scoring guard, she's more of a pass-first type guard. But when she's scoring, it's also a pleasure to see.
Yeah, the coach Strom really has a lot of trust in her. We talk about it each and every game, how she plays the most minutes on the team as a freshman, as the shot by Ayanna Williams is no good, but the offensive rebound kicked back out to Nina Shaw. She's going to take it in. No good. Rebound and up and one. And that is Alicia Young with the and one there to give the Vulcans a 5-point, potentially 6-point lead here early on. Yeah, like you said, Nina Shaw just kind of taking the reins of Sierra Lloyd and other previous guards that really built their legacy here at California. And, I mean, she's done a great job. Like you said, she's not a crazy scorer, but she does what needs to be done, and she has a lot of trust from her teammates and her head coach.
Just checking in was number 14, Michaela Fadrell.
George with the pass out to Bella. Bowie to Colbert. Colbert at the top of the key loses the ball, but Bella's there to save her for it. It's been a good defensive performance so far by the Vulcans as they're just working on staying in front of their defenders and containing it. George for three here. Off the front rim, no good. Jordan Smith with the rebound, and the Vulcans are coming back the other way.
Man, this early in the game, you got to love the defensive intensity there by the Vulcans, just staying in front of the players, which is all you're required to do, and came up with the miss there by Ship.
Jordan Smith, top of the key, back out to Nina Shaw for three again. Bank was almost open, but no good. Rebound by Bella, and she's going to bring it down the court for the Raiders. Looks like she's going to take it all the way up and under. Gets her own rebound back up and the foul, as she will go to the line.
Man, Kimienti left all alone after that layup, but able to get her own rebound. That's a foul underneath, which in the end was pretty much a good foul. Anything to prevent an easy bucket like that.
Early media timeout here in our game between the California Vulcans and the Shippensburg Raiders, with the score being 8-2 in favor of the Vulcans, with Bella at the line. So far, like we've kind of said, a lot of turnovers early on. Great defense on both sides of the ball, really.
No.
And Shippensburg just hasn't really been able to find it yet.
Yeah, one thing you can't always get is offense. Sometimes offense is there, sometimes it's not. It's really it's such a finicky thing. But like versus defense, where it feels like you can always play defense. So offense can come and go with the win, but one thing you always want to have is definitely defense.
And that's something, any coach will definitely, hang their hat on, is when things aren't going right and you're not finding the bottom of the net, you can always rely on your defensive abilities and your cohesion as a team. And that's kind of where both teams have been going here, as Shippensburg starts the game 1 for 7 from the floor, and California is 3 for 9 so far. Like you said, just a lot of turnovers. I mean, we've been kind of getting used to seeing that early on in these games, but you never love to see it. You hope it gets cleaned up a little bit.
Yep.
And sometimes when you're taking part in a basketball game, there's a difference between turnovers and defensive plays. So like a steal or something like that, and then just throwing the ball out of bounds like we've seen a couple times here.
Yeah.
That'll obviously get cleaned up as the game goes on, but
yeah. Definitely, as you were saying, definitely contributes to momentum. That was for sure. One thing I'd like to point out right now, California, I believe this is the PSAC West, is ranked 7th in terms of defense, allowing 61.8 points per game, with Shippensburg allowing 66.8 points per game.
And Shippensburg also only averaging 55 as a team. So we're going to have to see how California's stellar defense matches up with Shippensburg's not so up to par offense so far this year. As we continue on in this game, Bermudez, who checked in with Deja Terrell after the media timeout. Pass up to Iona Williams. Screened by Deja. Iona takes it to the rack, and she is fouled. She will shoot 2.
Vulcans have just been aggressive right now, just pushing the issue. Quite a bit of shots coming from inside the paint, which is, I guess, is really what you want. Percentages tend to be higher inside the paint area than anywhere else on the floor.
Yeah, Iona Williams going into last game was actually second in all of the PSAC in shooting percentage, shooting just over 60%. Last game not her best, as she was, I believe, 2 for 12 from the floor. But she looks to bounce back here as she nails the first of 2 free throws.
Yep. Williams averaging, with a field goal percentage this season of 54% and a free throw percentage of 61.
She knocks both down, giving Cal a 6-point lead, and Shippensburg back on offense. It is blocked. Couldn't tell who got the block there, but Nina Shaw bringing it back up the floor for the Vulcans. Sierra Bermudez in the corner. She had another great game last game as she nailed a couple huge threes for the Vulcans in their comeback, and I'm sure she is looking to get going here again.
Yeah, Bermudez is definitely a volume shooter. Once she gets going, it's hard to stop her.
Ooh, a little bit of a razzle-dazzle move there by Iona Williams. No good, and here comes Tasia, and looks like she kind of just lost it, and they're going to point to Vulcan's way. It kind of looked like it went off her leg, but not close enough to see. Nope, and there we go. They're going to switch it to Vulcans. That's what I thought. It seemed like it kind of just slipped out of her legs. If they're not going to call foul, then that's Vulcan's ball.
I absolutely hate situations like that. It's hard. neither ref really able to tell what quite happened. Those are always, they can always be messy, but.
And a true freshman, Kamai Williams, coming into the game for Alicia Harris. She has gotten her minutes up game by game as she's proven to be a good playmaker for this team. She gets the ball early. Posting up, Iona looking like for the cut. To Nina Shaw, back to Deja Terrell. She's going to work in the post, shoot a jumper, and that is nothing but net.
And Terrell definitely a solid contributor, one of the key contributors to this Vulcans team. Out last season with that knee injury, but since coming back seems like she's never left.
Really, it's just her presence on the floor that helps a lot, too. She might not put up the most numbers so far this year coming back from that injury, but her being out there does a lot for the Vulcans, and as long as she can stay out of foul trouble, she's going to impact this game tremendously. Here's Bella for a deep three. No good. Rebound, Kamai Williams. And Nina Shaw bringing it up for the Vulcans.
Ship getting the looks they want, just not quite getting anything to fall, which that can come and go with the win. As the game goes on, you probably get more used to the hoop, so that might change.
Man, Deja Terrell feeling it as she goes with the little shimmy in the post, fade away. 4-2, Vulcans with a 10-point lead here early on. No good there. Kamai Williams with another rebound for the Vulcans, and here comes Nina Shaw back up the floor. That was Michaela Fodrell with the shot there.
Up there, the skip pass, just kind of mishandled by the Vulcans when they just tipped them out of the Vulcans' hands.
Jordan Smith checking back in the game here for Deja Terrell. Coach Strom likes to give Terrell on and off breaks to kind of keep her out of that foul trouble. Right now she has yet to pick up one, which is a good sign for the Vulcans. But she likes to just keep her in and out nice and fresh as the Raiders back here on offense. Abby Miller with the drive. No good. And that's going to be a foul underneath on the Vulcans. They'll stay on this side of the floor for the Raiders.
And then we'll go on Shaw. Kind of got caught with her hand in the cookie jar.
Kimiente with the rebound here. Or with the inbound, I'm sorry. And the foul there on Kamai Williams. And Treasure George will go to the line for two. And that is the fourth foul of the game for the Vulcans, and Kamai Williams is first.
Surprisingly, we've only had 5 foul shots shot between both teams here. With that's Shippensburg first miss.
As much as Shippensburg is in a rebuild year, they have been doing a pretty good job at the free throw line as they have a couple shooters over 80 and 85%. Treasure George being one of them, and she misses her first 2 of the game as Jordan Smith will bring the ball up the court for the Vulcans. Iona Williams, the drive, right hand on the left side, no good. Rebound Shippensburg. And the pass up to George, and it is tipped back in play, but the Vulcans are going to come up with it as they are coming back the other way. Nina Shaw with the skip pass over to Bermudez. 4-3. Off the back rim, no good. Rebound by Nina Shaw. Kamai Williams back to Bermudez. She's going to put up another one. No good. Iona Williams with the rebound. No good. And the Vulcans getting the looks they want, just could not capitalize. And that shot was by Alexis Bowie. No good as Nina Shaw comes back the other way. She's going to do a little Euro step. Oh, just rolls off the front rim, and the rebound to Bowie.
Man, neither team has slowed down these last couple of possessions.
And here is Kimiente, the top of the key, guarded by Bermudez as she's setting up the offense. Pass over to Miller. Miller at the top, guarded by Iona Williams. Looking for somebody. She's got nobody. Kimiente there. Pass down low to Treasure George. The mid-range jumper is good.
That is a much needed make there by Ship. Hasn't really been able to get too much going on offense, but a much needed make.
From what I can see this year, when Shippensburg is in doubt, they kind of go to George. She is their leading scorer on the team and most experienced players. Bermudez from the top of the key 4-3, no good, and Kimiente with the rebound. George bringing the ball up the court, guarded by Bermudez. And there's going to be a hand check there on Sierra. And they're actually going to call that as a continuation. Or no, that's going to put them in the bonus, so there will be 2 shots. As we have some substitutions coming in for the Raiders. Number 14, Michaela Fodrell. Number 20, Tasia Colbert. And number 13, Eve Nelson. Treasure George first free throw is good.
Right now, Treasure George shooting 85% on the season, and as a Shippensburg as a whole shooting 69%.
Her, Abby Miller, and Kimiente are all over 80% from the free throw line this year, so I'm sure they'll be looking to get some points from the line tonight. As she misses the second, Jordan Smith puts up the last second shot, and this is no good. At the end of the first quarter, the Vulcans are up a touchdown, 14-7, and we will be right back here on the PSAC Network and CUTV Sports 1.
Come on out to the Convocation Center and support men's and women's basketball for the 2023-2024 season. The Vulcans are looking to put the PSAC on notice this year after both teams are picked towards the top of the preseason conference rankings. There will be 13 men's games and 16 women's games at home. Follow calvulcans.com for any update. All games will be live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network.
Come out. Our team's going to be very exciting. We have a lot of good players. I think we play the game the right way, very up-tempo. I think we're going to be able to score some points. I think our defense is going to be great. Our guys have great energy.
Come to our games. I think once you get here, you'll really like what you see. I think it's exciting. These players put in a ton of time, a ton of effort to put out a good product on the floor. And like I said, I think it's super exciting, and you'll really want to come back.
Welcome back as we are here in the Convocation Center, and the score is 14-7 in favor of the Vulcans to start the second quarter. Braxton, what did you see in that first quarter?
Yeah, both teams going back and forth on offense. Shippensburg being Shippensburg really struggling to find a footing on offense, but getting the shots they want, just have them not falling. Vulcans right now are just being in it. Their defensive presence has been great, especially to start the game.
Yeah, both teams struggling from the floor offensively, as Shippensburg starting out 15%, 2 of 13, and California at 29%, 5 of 17. That's something that Shippensburg definitely has been working on all season, as they are only shooting 35% as a team from the floor. But I'm sure that they are trying to get that mark up as the season continues. Treasure George passed down low, and a great skip pass over to Abby Miller, in and out, and the rebound by Terrell, as Nina Shaw will bring it back up the court for the Vulcans.
Man, that was a beautiful find by George, just not able to get it to fall.
Bermudez no good, as she has really been letting it loose. I believe that might be her third or fourth three-point attempt, and I'm sure she's ready to get going here, as she has yet to find the bottom. No good there by Treasure George, and they're going to call an over the back on Shippensburg. Looks like that was on Michaela Fodrell. Vulcans bringing it back up the court with Nina Shaw. Vulcans love to use this motion offense where they pass and go, set screens for each other. And it just opens up opportunities all around the floor. Deja Terrell, top of the key, passes it, skip pass over to Nina Shaw. 4-3. Looked good, but just off the front rim as Kimiente comes down the floor with a little 2-on-1 opportunity. Treasure George with a great layup and one.
George, the beneficiary on that possession, able to finish through the contact.
And coming in for Bermudez will be Talia Gilliard, and coming in for Kamaya Williams will be Alyssa Harris. Great bucket there by George. I'm sure she's ready to get going and help her team, as they're only down 4 now. Went from a 10-point game to now 4. As coming in for Shippensburg is number 15, Maya Johnson, for George.
I'd like to say one thing is that the score, I say, the score of any sport, especially basketball, can be deceiving. 1 minute you're up and the next you're down. But it's just a game of runs. Who's scoring at what time and who's doing what they're supposed to. But it's never stays the same.
And that is true. As right there, Alicia Harris comes down with the rebound and the putback for 2 for the Vulcans. And that ball is going to go out of bounds. Maya Johnson looking down low and could not find anybody, and the Vulcans will bring it back. The common habit of turnovers is continuing in this game.
Yeah, turnovers have just been an issue for both teams so far.
Nina Shaw, top of the key. She's going to get a screen from Deja Terrell here. Pass over to Harris. Back to Smith. Smith's going to work with the ball at the top of the key now. Over to Nina Shaw. She's going to shoot again off the front rim and no good. And that looks like it's going to go out of bounds, and Shippensburg will get possession. As another substitution for Shippensburg, as Carolina Rodriguez Sanchez coming in. She's actually from Spain, so we got some international talent coming in the game here tonight. It's Tasia Colbert, pass to Kimiente. Kimiente getting a screen from Miller. She's going to pass it over to Maya Johnson for 3, no good. Deja Terrell with the rebound, and Nina Shaw with the outlet pass.
Man, one thing I'd like to point out here is just how good both teams' footwork currently is. So many times where you think they travel, or so many times there it's easy to travel, but I'll say if anything, both teams have done a great job in that department.
Yeah, we've seen a lot. As Deja Terrell, top of the key jumper is no good. And then over the back on Jordan Smith, it will come back the other way. But adding on to your point, last game we definitely saw a good amount of travels, and it just is a part of the game, like you said. You know, if your feet aren't caught up with your body fully, sometimes you just get ahead of yourself. And we've yet to see that too much here today, as most of the turnovers are just errant passes or mistakes by the offensive players. As here, Tasia passes it to Treasure George, who just checked back in the game. And they're going to call a foul. Surprising call there. She will go to the line for 2.
I kind of missed that. So they're going to call. So I'm assuming they're going to say she tripped her up a little bit.
Okay, well, no free throws coming, as they'll get the ball under the basket. Kimiente, top of the key. And her shot gets blocked, and that was blocked by, I believe, Alyssa Harris over there. Great defensive play by the Vulcans.
So far, that block there has been a testament, I guess, to Vulcans' defensive presence this game, whole game.
And it seems like Harris has kind of been stuck on George for most of the game, as she nails a 3 right in front of her. You just got to wonder if that's maybe a defensive strategy by Coach Strom over there to kind of lock up their number 1 scorer. As of right now, she leads the whole game in scoring with 9. Nina Shaw, top of the key, pass over to Gilliard. She's going to shoot the corner 3, and it's good. Talia Gilliard doesn't get a ton of minutes, but when she does, she's always looking to shoot, and that is the part of the game that she kind of brings off the bench for the Vulcans. It's the pass over to George. She's going to drive to the basket and draw another foul. And she's starting off aggressive here tonight. Yeah, you gotta love the aggressiveness of George right now. Getting to the line when she wants to, almost at will at this point. As you said, the leading scorer for both teams, 9 points so far. First one is good. 19-14, Cal with a 5-point lead here early on. Second one is good as well. And the Vulcans will come back the other way with a 4-point lead. 6 minutes left here in the second quarter. It's Nina Shaw with the ball here at half court. Screened by Deja Terrell. She's going to dump it off to Gilliard, who's going to shoot another 3, and she's going to nail it. Yeah, that's 2 in a row now. And both of those shot attempts were absolutely nothing but net. Very clean jump shots there by Gilliard, and I'm sure she's excited right now to maybe get a couple more minutes this game to show what she's capable of. As she gets a steal there on Kimiente as well, and she's going to give it to Shaw, who comes up the floor. Over to Smith. Smith going to drive the baseline, pull up jump shot, no good. And that's going to be tipped off the hands of Deja Terrell and out of bounds. Shippensburg will take possession.
I mean, that possession there, I thought for sure they were trying to find Gilliard. Again, 2 shots in a row. It was a much needed heat check would have been in that situation.
Now Iona Williams checking in the game here for Alicia Harris. As Colbert with the ball at the top of the key to George. Gets the screen from Miller. Backdoor cut by Kimiente. Goes up and gets blocked by Jordan Smith. What a defensive play as the Vulcans continue on their defensive tangent.
Yeah. Man, I thought Kimiente had a wide open layup there, but Smith able to get a block without getting called for a foul. Nice block. Good defense there.
Here's George again for 3 off the front rim, and it'll come out to Kimiente, who will give it back to George, and they'll set up the offense. The screen by Miller. Over to Kimiente in the corner for 3. No good, but the offensive board and the bucket there by Rodriguez Sanchez. Her first bucket of the game.
And Sanchez just had to reach for that rebound there, just the height advantage over Shaw. Didn't have to do much, but a good putback.
Yeah, she's one of the few players on this Shippensburg team that seems to kind of be able to stand up to Deja Terrell height-wise. So I'm sure she'll get her fair amount of minutes as Terrell misses the 3. Talia Gillard with a great crashing of the board, but gives it up, and Shippensburg is going to come the other way. Great effort there by Talia, though. And here's George driving, spinning, and she's going to get called for the travel. We will head into the media timeout as California with the 5-point lead with 4 minutes left here in the second quarter, 22-17. Our leading scorer of the game is still Treasure George, and leading scorer for the Vulcans is kind of a combination. So we got Talia Gillard with 6 off of her 2 threes, and Deja Terrell, who's had a couple nice baskets as well.
Yeah, the start of this game seemed like it was going to be, I guess it seemed like it was going to be a blowout. As I said, the score can be just deceptive, especially to start a game. Right now, both teams not having the best night from the field. Shippensburg shooting 21.7%, with the Vulcans shooting 29.6%. Let's see, Vulcans with 3 threes as compared to Shippensburg's 1. So both teams kind of in the same realm offensively. I guess really, Vulcans up 5. I guess the really story has been, defense. Vulcans' defense has just been that much more aggressive and that much more in the face than Shippensburg. Shippensburg defensive possessions have not been bad, just Vulcans, have been able to get their shots to fall just a little bit more.
Yeah, it's both teams with Shippensburg with 9 turnovers and California with 7 turnovers. So we're seeing a fair share of kind of giving the ball up. And defensively, both teams are kind of playing equal right now, as the Vulcans are going to bring the ball down the floor, up 5, as we are back from the media timeout. Nina Shaw at the top of the key, guarded by Colbert. Just working on Colbert a little bit. She's going to pass to the corner to Harris. Back up to Gilliard. I'm sure they're looking for her to get a heat check as she does a little step-back jumper, and it is good. That was a confident stroke there by Talia Gilliard, as she is now the leading scorer on the Vulcans coming off the bench. Kimiente, top of the key, guarded by Iona Williams. Passes it to the corner to Colbert. Colbert on the drive, the stop, the pop, and it falls.
Nice little move by Colbert there. Able to stop her momentum just to rise and shoot over. Good shot inside.
As Nina Young brings it up the floor, gives it to Iona, and she's calling for Nina to come get the ball back off of her. And they're going to set up their offense here. They seem to be slowing it down on offense a little bit, which is nice to see, as sometimes they do get a little bit excited and out of hand. And there's the steal and the lay-in. And that is Rodriguez Sanchez again. That's her second bucket of the night. and I just made the point about them slowing down, and then a little mistake was made. You got to wonder if maybe they should be speeding things up, but they're still ahead here as they have a 24-21 lead. And it's going to go out of bounds off of the Vulcans. Timeout by Coach Jess Strom. The Vulcans kind of a little bit chaotic right now as back-to-back turnovers in the last 2 possessions.
Yeah, so definitely a good timeout here by Coach Strom. Probably just going to talk to her team just to get them to calm down a bit. I guess a couple unnecessary turnovers. Let's say from personal experience, that one turnover chest pass into the high post. One thing that you're taught to almost never do is throw a chest pass into the post. It just makes it that much, for some reason, makes it that much easier for the defense, for the steal. It's either a lob pass inside or a bounce pass down low. But I say just right now, forcing the ball really where it doesn't really need to be, I guess. And I said with this timeout just to slow them down, to calm them down a bit.
Shippensburg starting to heat up a little bit here as they are kind of keeping it close here with California. Only down 3 and the ball. And here is Kimiente at the top of the key, guarded by Nina Shaw. Over to Colbert. Back to Kimiente as Colbert steps away for a screen, receives it at the high post. There's Maddie White, number 3. Believe she just checked in for the first time tonight. We must have missed that through the timeout. And a steal there by Gilliard. Oh, and Iona could not handle the transition pass as Colbert has the ball at the top of the key. And another steal here by Harris. Going to give it to Iona. Had to kind of slow down for that ball, but great adjustment, and she gets the 2.
Man, that second one did look close to another turnover, but Williams able just to slow down and gather it there.
It's almost like a mental thing.
Yeah.
They see a couple turnovers, and then they want to make sure each pass is almost perfect, and that's kind of what seemed like there, as she had to kind of wait on it and come back for it. Top of the key, 3 by Miller. No good, and the rebound by Gilliard. 3 blue jerseys around her, and she somehow comes up with the ball. As she's looking for Shaw.
I like to go back to that. Was a great point you made about. I said the mentalness of a turnover. It's even though you want to not make mistakes, you still have to just play. Otherwise, you'd almost lose your effectiveness. I think that's the hardest thing to balance.
As the bucket there by Alicia Harris is good. But yes, I couldn't agree more. I think a lot of the time when you have a lot of turnovers to start a game, it kind of becomes more of a mental barrier than it is so much a physical barrier. As Miller's going to drive here. And a great block there by Deja Torella. She just kind of gets her hand out there. And Nina Shaw with the one-on-one fast break. Yep. And they're going to call a charge, I think. Or no?
Yeah, offensive.
Yeah.
A little bit of a forearm shiver there just to create space.
And, sometimes a move like that can draw a foul call from the referee and create some contact as Bermudez is going to check in here for Shaw. A rare break for Nina Shaw. She does not come off the floor often for this Vulcans team, but I'm sure she is looking forward to catching her breath. Kimiente bringing the ball up the floor, being guarded by Iona Williams. Pass to Miller and the pass to George. The backdoor cut to Maya Johnson, and she's going to get fouled.
Man, these last couple of possessions, Shippensburg passing has been, let's say, a sight to watch. Just as they draw the foul on that play there, but offensively just hasn't really translated quite yet.
As Deja Terrell will check out of the game here for Kamaya Williams. Kamaya, a freshman for the Vulcan, that I do believe will kind of add more playing time with each game, as she is, like we said, proven to become a playmaker. As Mia Johnson's first basket is good. Just caught myself, was mispronouncing her name as Maya. It is Mia Johnson. So I do apologize for that. She makes both free throws, and the Vulcans' lead is down to 4. Or 5. Sierra Bermudez bringing the ball up, something you don't usually see.
Yeah. Bermudez more so, in my opinion, like a 3-and-D.
Ooh. And just a little bit of a miscommunication there by her and Gilliard. And I think that's kind of one of the reasons why we see Shaw on the floor so much, because she kind of calms this team down. She's a good game manager. Yep. She's good with the ball in her hands. And right there, they kind of felt the effects of her not being on the floor. As George passes it up top to Miller. Over to Kimiente, who pump fakes and gets Iona in the air. Shot no good, though. And they're going to foul Iona off the rebound. And that's only Shippensburg's second foul so far here with 26 seconds in the second quarter. So I'm sure they're happy to see that. And they're not really too worried about foul trouble right now as they can continue to play aggressive on the defensive side of the ball. Iona Williams over to Gilliard. Gilliard to Harris. Harris over to Bermudez, who has an open look, and she's going to nail it.
One of us said if you want anyone to get going, it's definitely Bermudez. Once she starts hitting them, she's consistent.
And George looking for that last second three, and she just drains it. Man, Treasure George with a great shot to end the half. As it is 31-26 going into the half, and we will be right back here on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network.
Are you a Penn West California student looking to get involved in media? You have two great choices, and for both, all majors are welcome. CUTV is the home for Vulcan sports. Be a part of 80-plus live games both home and on the road. We're looking for announcers, camera operators, graphic operators, and much more. There are also opportunities to develop your own shows. Go to our YouTube page, CUTV Sports 1, and see all of the content. WCAL Radio gives you the opportunity to play your music and develop your own show. Be heard locally over the air in a 40-mile radius and worldwide online. That's 91.9 FM, Power 92. SAI Media of CUTV and WCAL. Get out, join up, be seen, and be heard.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Convocation Center as we are getting ready for the second half as the California Vulcans lead the Shippensburg Raiders 31-26. Braxton, you want to take us through the halftime stats?
Yeah, these stats are pretty close to even. Both team, California going 12 of 31 from the field, with Shippensburg going 8 of 28. Vulcans going 4 of 14 from 3. Shippensburg going 2 of 10. Free throws 8 of 11 for Ship, 3 of 3 for the Vulcans. And despite this score is pretty close. Let's see. In terms of 3-point percentage for the game, Vulcans, that's 28%, while Ship is only going 20. This game has been pretty close despite these stats, and I guess where the real discrepancy is the foul line. The Ship getting to the line a little bit more than the Vulcans. They're just altogether being just a tad more aggressive on the offensive end. Let's say the Vulcans being more aggressive on the defensive end. You see Vulcans right now out-rebounding Ship 23-18. And this game has just been back and forth. That's all I can really say. Back and forth despite these stats and everything.
Had a little bit of shooting struggles from each team, but they've bounced back with great defensive play and, a little bit of coalition working together as Kimmy Ente is 0 for 6 from the floor, Abby Miller 0 for 4 from the floor, and then on our side of the Vulcans, we got Sierra Bermudez 1 for 5, all threes, and Nina Shaw 1 for 6, 1 for 4 from beyond the arc. So the shooting hasn't been great, but all in all, we've seen a back and forth game, kind of like you said, and I'm sure that it's going to pick up here in the second half now that they're slightly warmed up.
Yeah. Always, let's say, especially at the start of this game, always the jitters that you always want to get out. And there's always, I feel like they're always prevalent in some manner. I guess tonight has just been in the offensive area for both teams. Have yet to really get settled in.
And definitely a surprise is in the first quarter, Alicia Young only 5 minutes played. I'm not sure if there's something going on there or if maybe she just part of the strategy here tonight, but she's checking in to start this second half. So we'll have to see if she kind of gets more playing time in the second half. We also saw Talia Gilliard go off for 8 points in that first half. I'm not sure if it's her season high or not, but it's definitely the most action she's gotten in the first half as she leads all scorers for the Vulcans. And Nina Shaw with the ball at the top of the key, and she is guarded by Colbert. Pass over to Smith coming off a screen. Smith on the drive. Contact, but no foul as Shippensburg is going to come the other way. Colbert with the ball. Pass up to Kimmy Ente, and Kimmy Ente's layup is no good as she still struggles to find her first basket. And Nina Shaw comes the other way. And they're going to slow it down, pull back out to Nina Shaw. Top of the key, covered by Colbert. Jordan Smith going to shoot a deep three. And they're going to call a foul on, looks like Nina Shaw.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that call was, but either way, Jordan Smith did not connect on the three. And Shippensburg seemed to have had the rebound, so not too much harm there, but a little bit of confusion as to what the call actually was.
I think he's saying how Shaw, guessing on the closeout, kind of just moved Ship out of the way.
Colbert with the pass to Miller, top of the key. She's looking down low. She gives it back to Colbert. He's going to look down low to, and that's going to be stolen. And it's going to go out on the Vulcans, and it'll stay on this end. As we see Carolina Rodriguez-Sanchez actually starting this half for the Raiders. As we kind of talked about, she's one of the few taller people on that team. As Nina Shaw once again going to check out here for Bermudez. It is not often we see Nina Shaw checking out more than once in a game. So definitely something to be seen there as we're only a minute into the second half. Treasure George on the drive, Deja Terrell, and that's going to be too hard off the backboard, but the rebound will go to the Raiders. But the shot clock did not reset as it never hit the rim.
I think that's going to be it. Yep, shot clock violation, didn't hit the rim.
Yeah, layup just a little bit too strong. I mean, when you're driving to the basket on Deja Terrell, it's kind of hard to maneuver around her, and we kind of saw that there with the powerful lane. Sierra Bermudez going to hand it off to Jordan Smith. Top of the key to Deja Terrell. Gets it tipped, but still keeps possession. Working the triple threat. Over to Smith in the corner for 3. Little long, and the rebound goes to Shippensburg. Colbert on the drive, going all the way, and that looks like a clean defense by Sierra Bermudez. Yep. And it will stay on this end.
I say, as Vulcans have just been keeping up that defensive presence, if a ship has gotten an open shot, if they just make sure it's uncomfortable.
Here's Colbert again on another take, and that is good. Floater across the middle there for Tasia Colbert. That cuts the lead down to 3 here. The Vulcans have been in a lot of close games this year, and they've come out on top of most of them. As the pass down low there to Alyssa Harris, and she will go to the line for 2.
Harris hoping to slam that ball down. Just a bit of frustration, hoping to finish that basket. But she will hit the line regardless.
It's not really that the Vulcans are playing a bad game, but they're not playing what seems to be their brand of basketball this year, which is a little bit more physical, efficient, looking for the best shots possible. It seems like they've kind of been settling a little bit. They have a lot of three-point shots that have gone up already in this game. In the first half, they were they put up a lot of threes and continued to do so now, but down low they're just not being able to finish, as she did capitalize on one of the 2 free throws to make the lead 4. Here's Treasure George for 3 again. She's up to 17 points on the night, and we are early in the third quarter here. We could see some kind of scoring explosion here if the Vulcans don't contain her. Lisa Young with the mid-range jump shot. That was crisp.
Yeah, nice little pull-up. So right now you're hoping the Vulcans just continue to go inside the arc, as that seems what's working for them, especially at the start of the second half.
Great defense there by Sierra Bermudez as she tips it out. Ball on the floor. They're going to call a travel because she kind of rolled around once she got possession of it. Trying to get away from all the Raiders defenders, but nonetheless, great effort there by the Vulcans. Colbert passing it in. And it's going to be off the hands there of Eve Neeson. And an and one with the left hand as well. That was a beautiful play there by Abby Miller.
Abby Miller going up for the shot, using her body to create the space without really being called on the push-off. Nice finish as well.
Yeah, that was a great left-handed finish. Anytime you can see a player not only continue with the left hand. Actually, she is left-handed, so there we go. That would make a little bit more sense. But either way, she created the contact, was able to finish, and also add on the three-point play, and we are all tied up here in the third quarter. Jordan Smith with the ball. She's going to move to Sierra Bermudez. Cross-court pass to Young. Now to go out of bounds off of the Raiders. Stays on this end.
Ship's defensive presence just a little bit more for the second half, forcing a number of errors for the Vulcans.
It's a great shot there by Deja Terrell as she gives the Vulcans the 2-point lead right back, and she's been playing pretty aggressive tonight.
Yeah, as this game goes on, you hope Terrell just kind of takes this game over offensively, as she's done in the past and has been consistent so far in this game.
Deja Terrell 2 years ago averaging the 18 points, 12 rebounds per game, was the Defensive Player of the Year in the PSAC. Hasn't quite gotten back to her true form yet this season as she's coming off of a big injury, but it's always nice to see her playing aggressive, and right now she has 8 points for the Vulcans. More time with Nina Shaw on the bench. This is not something the Vulcans are used to, not something we as fans are used to either. As Deja Terrell catches it at the top of the key, she gets kind of hit. No good. Shippensburg going to come up with it as George brings it up the floor. You got to think George is looking for her shot as she has 17 here early on in this third quarter. Deja Terrell with a great rebound there off the miss by Abby Miller. And she'll actually bring it up herself. Pass it to Bermudez to the corner to Jordan Smith. Over to Young, and Young's going to shoot a rare three. No good, as Rodriguez comes up with the rebound.
Man, right now the Vulcans to me at least, favoring the three-point line just a bit too much. Nealon on that drive.
Nealon with a great drive there, ties up the game once again. Shippensburg hanging around. You know, the Vulcans, you don't want to fall victim to a trap game, to a team that seems to be struggling. And right now they're playing well against this Vulcans team. Is Young with the offensive rebound and the putback.
Yeah, as the Vulcans right now, just in my personal opinion, right now are favoring the three-point line just a little bit too much. Right now they're having their success from inside the arc. So why not keep pounding that shot and forcing Ship to actually play and cover you?
And Abby Miller with the 2 there. And going off your point, the Vulcans already with 17 three-point attempts in this game, only connecting on 4 of them, 2 of them being Talia Gilliard. So you have to think that your point about kind of trying to get it inside the three-point line is definitely valid. Kind of settling instead of looking for the most efficient shot. Jordan Smith, top of the key. Out to Bermudez. Bermudez on the dribble drive, and Jordan Smith another 3. That's going to be off back iron. Rebounded by Harris. And they're going to call a double dribble.
Great rebound, just a little lapse, I guess, in judgment there.
Yeah, in the post, sometimes you want to get that power dribble. You'll have the tendency to throw it down with 2 hands, but if you throw it down with 2 hands, you got to come up with it. And that is not what Harris did there, and that resulted in the double dribble. And Shippensburg will be getting the ball and a chance to take their first lead since 2-0 in this game.
Vulcans on offense, just to me, leaving it a little bit too stagnant, I guess, for my liking, I guess, for Coach Schramm's as well. I'm not saying that none of these players can play one-on-one. One-on-one basketball is, definitely a gift and an art, especially it's something you have to work on. I'm not saying that none of these players can do that, but I guess that's not really their first strength in that regard. To me, right now, they have to definitely get the ball moving a lot more. Good things are coming off of ball movement. Get everyone to touch the ball at least once. Set some off-ball screens, on-ball screens, but the thing is, the more hands the ball touches, I'll say the better the outcome, especially has been for this Vulcans offense.
And we're seeing a lot of, it almost seems like the Vulcans are shooting early in the shot clock and taking the first look that they get, and we're definitely not used to that, as we tend to see them passing up open shots for even better shots. Yep. And that's kind of the point Braxton's making here, is to hope that they can kind of focus on the inside game and work their way out as the game goes on, and that's the way they're most efficient. Shippensburg is going to be bringing it down the court, like we said, with their chance to take their first lead since 2-0 early on in this game. Treasure George with the ball at the top of the key. Colbert, guarded by Young. Finds George. George with the behind-the-back move, looking to score. Nothing there. Back out to Colbert. Colbert on the dribble drive. Off the front rim and out. Harris with the rebound. Harris with 6 rebounds so far, and Deja Terrell with 8 rebounds, as they are kind of leading the way in this game of physicality. Harris at the line. Pass it over to Gillard. Gillard's going to shoot the 3, but it's going to be blocked, as they kind of saw that coming. And Harris underneath going to get fouled. You can tell she's getting a little bit frustrated down low, as she's getting hit a lot when she's trying to finish, and now she's going to be able to try to get those 2 points at the free throw line, as Nina Shaw is going to check in the game here for Alicia Young.
Yeah, Harris definitely, as you're saying, probably definitely getting just a tad frustrated inside. I'm telling you, in that inside game, there's always a lot of stuff that referees aren't going to see, and she's probably getting touched here and there, slapped. I see it's definitely going to be more physical, so of course that frustration is going to come.
And a player like Harris, she really relies on her physicality and her ability to grab offensive rebounds, stay down low, and just give her team the best chance to capitalize on their opportunities. As she's going to go to the line here for 2 to try to get Cal back in front in this game. First one is no good off the left rim and out.
Yeah. Games like this, especially free throws, are so important. Teams generally that shoot 70% or more from the foul line generally tend to win more games.
She's going to miss both there. Not what the Vulcans were looking for, and here comes Colbert up the floor. She's going to pass to Faudrell. Back to Colbert. Colbert getting the screen from Rodriguez Sanchez. 3 no good there. Sanchez with the rebound. Back to Colbert. Colbert with the mid-range hook. No good. And Carolina Rodriguez Sanchez really in there kind of beating bodies as she's going for the rebounds, and the Vulcans are going to regain possession with 3 minutes left here in the third quarter. Nina Shaw back on the floor. I'm sure that makes the Vulcans a little bit more comfortable on the offensive end. She's setting up the offense. Gets a pass by screen by Iona Williams. Great spin move, and the up, no good, and they're going to call a charge. Sometimes Iona gets a little bit ahead of herself. She's a great player, very efficient, but just tends to let her momentum carry her a little bit too far sometimes, and that resulted in a charge.
As a referee, I hate those are probably one of the harder things to call in that situation.
As we just saw Deja Terrell come back in the game. And Treasure George with the ball at the top, looking to open up the offense as she's kind of taking Nina herself, and that's going to be a charge the other way. Just a little bit of an arm extension there. Not necessarily a body-to-body, but when you push off like that and you're looking for a step back, the refs are going to see it almost every time.
Yeah, this is probably the times I've seen. It's probably the most offensive fouls I've seen in a little bit. I mean, not the most, but it's definitely up there. I feel like there's a little bit more leniency when it comes to offensive fouling in basketball.
Nina Shaw coming off the double screen there by Deja Terrell and Harris, and a little bit of bumping bodies down low, and I believe the foul went against Shippensburg on Deja Terrell, and that will put them in the bonus. Deja Terrell will shoot 2 free throws here for the Vulcans.
Deja Terrell at the line, 2 shots.
First one is good. Like you said, the importance of free throws in a game like this is crucial, as you need any points that you can get. One point game right now, and like you said, I mean, teams that shoot better in free throws will come out more often than not. But she connects on both.
Yeah, the Vulcans shooting on the season 64% from the charity stripe.
It's not really the number you want to see. I'm sure they're working on getting that number higher up, as they get plenty of opportunities from the line. They're a very physical team and kind of rely on their physicality a lot of the time. As Colbert's going to find George at the top of the key, who's going to do a step-back 3. Off the front rim, backboard, and in. Man, she's just getting every friendly roll. They take their first lead since early on.
My goodness. We've been this far in the game without a lead change. Being like the first, as you said, in this game. But right now, George just keeping the ball out of her hands. If you're the Vulcans, she is on a roll.
And Deja, a little tough spin move, hook shot there, does not fall, and Shippensburg coming the other way. Here's Colbert, guarded by Iona Williams. She's going to find George. George, I'm sure, looking for her shot as she is up to 20 points on the night. As Abby Miller, no good. Rebound by Terrell, and that's her 9th rebound of the night, as she is at 10 and 9, just off the verge of a double-double. Screen by Terrell. Pass over to Iona. Williams with the pull-up jump shot. Off the back rim and no good. But Harris with the hustle play. Gets the ball back. Iona Williams comes and gets it off of her. Dribble drive over to Terrell. She wants to set it up. Back out to Nina Shaw. 4-3. Nothing but net.
That is definitely a much-needed 3 for the Vulcans here.
And we kind of touched on it last game. When Nina Shaw is able to kind of extend the floor for her Vulcan team, and it's not just Sierra Bermudez is the only outside weapon, it really kind of changes the dynamic of this team's offense as she connects there for her. I believe that was her second 3 of the game. As Colbert with the ball, guarded by Shaw. She's going to get a screen. Nope. Goes away. Pass down low to Abby Miller. And the nice little floater is good. We are all tied up here at 43 in the last minute of the third quarter. Nina Shaw setting up the offense. Over to Young. Deja Terrell posting up down low, not getting it. Shaw looking for a jumper again. Over to Iona, who takes a rare long jump shot. And there's going to be a foul underneath on the rebound. And, I mean, even there, we're seeing Iona Williams kind of settle for some of her jumpers where we're used to seeing her on the dribble drive and playing a little bit more aggressive. And I think they're just starting to settle a little bit. It's nothing that they have to get too worried about yet, but with it being a tie game, about to be going into the last quarter, sure you want to pick up that physicality and kind of aggressiveness. First free throw is good by Young. And second is good as well. So far in this game, both teams are doing pretty well from the free throw line overall, as California is 8 for 11 and Shippensburg is 9 for 12. So both teams shooting around the 75% mark, which is higher than their average. Colbert pass to George. George over to Mia Johnson. No good. Deja with her 10th rebound. She now has her double-double. And her shot no good, as the score going into this fourth quarter is 45-43 in favor of the Vulcans. And we will be right back here on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network.
Are you a Penn West California student looking to get involved in media? You have two great choices, and for both, all majors are welcome. CUTV is the home for Vulcan sports. Be a part of 80-plus live games both home and on the road. We're looking for announcers, camera operators, graphic operators, and much more. There are also opportunities to develop your own shows. Go to our YouTube page, CUTV Sports 1, and see all of the content. WCAL Radio gives you the opportunity to play your music and develop your own show. Be heard locally over the air in a 40-mile radius and worldwide online. That's 91.9 FM, Power 92. SAI Media of CUTV and WCAL. Get out, join up, be seen, and be heard.
And welcome back, everybody, as we are ready for the fourth quarter here, as California holds a 2-point lead over Shippensburg in a game that we definitely were not expecting, as Shippensburg came in 1-7, Vulcans coming in 7-1. But it just goes to show that any given day is anybody's game.
Oh, yeah.
And Coach Christy Turn, in her 25th season as Shippensburg Raiders head coach, having her girls play pretty well tonight, as they're toe-to-toe with the Vulcans, who one of the powerhouses of the PSAC. As they will get the ball to start this quarter down 2, and we are finally on our final stretch here, as Colbert with the ball at the top. Pass out to Mia. George with it. Some aggressive defense by Jordan Smith, and she gets called for the foul.
Yeah. Smith, last time she checked in, I think for the sole purpose of just to cover George, as her intensity definitely proves so.
And, you know, I'm always a fan of as long as you don't have anybody in too bad of foul trouble, to get those early aggressive plays in the last quarter of the game, is just in case you need to foul later to get the ball back. Being in the bonus will not be an issue. As Colbert, top of the key. It's a dribble drive, pump fake, jumper from the free throw line, no good. And Nina Shaw going to come down with the rebound. Vulcans trying to add on to their lead. Get a little bit of space here and maybe get a little more comfortable, as they have. It's been a closer game than they, I would imagine, have expected. Shaw in the corner. Over to Young. Skip pass to Jordan Smith. Smith giving it back to Young in the opposite corner. 5 on the shot clock, and the turnover as Rodriguez Sanchez is there to intercept the pass, and Treasure George coming down the floor.
Vulcans on offense just a little bit too stagnant. Not really putting too much pressure on Ship.
And Mia Johnson, no good there. She tried to go up with the left hand. I don't believe she is left-handed, so has to be a little bit more precise with that. As Jordan Smith on the drive from the right side of the basket. Pass down low to Deja Terrell with a great basket as she is just continuing to play aggressive. She is up to 12 on the night.
Man, if anyone has been consistent in this game, it definitely has been Deja Terrell from inside. 4 of 9 on the night.
Treasure George for 3, no good. And the rebound, no good there. And I believe they're going to call a foul on Treasure George.
Yep.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, Deja Terrell has been extremely consistent this game, and it's something that all Vulcans fans are probably very excited to see is, you know, redshirt senior this year going into her last season, a great team that she's on this year, and when she's really getting going, it opens up everybody else's game, and that's kind of what's happening tonight as Young at the top of the key. Young looking for a pass down low. Jordan Smith comes out for the ball in the middle to Harris, and they're going to call her for a travel. Kimiente checking in the game for Mia Johnson, as she has yet to find a basket in this game. She is 0 for 7.
These turnover numbers for both teams have been absolutely wild, in my opinion. Right now, Vulcans with 18 and Ship with 15.
Both teams sitting right around their average, but early in the fourth, which is never something you like to see. As Sanchez unable to connect. Here come the Vulcans. Jordan Smith a little bit too far under the basket, not able to get it. But Nina Shaw with the hustle. Over to Young. Mid-range jumper, no good. And Shippensburg coming back with it.
Man, Vulcans catching a couple breaks on the offensive end. Ship not able to score off their own putbacks, and that foul there by Smith.
And Treasure George kind of had Jordan Smith going back and forth there for a second as she was kind of trying to create a move for herself, but the Raiders will get the ball under the basket. Down 4 here with 7 minutes left in the game.
That was only Smith's 3rd foul of this game. I'd imagine with her on George, she might pick up a couple more, so she has maybe 1 to burn in this game.
And here is Colbert on the drive. A little kind of fadeaway there. And that is going to go out on Shippensburg as the hustle by Abby Miller turns out, and the Vulcans getting the ball and up 4 here with just under 7 to play. Nina Shaw bringing the ball up the floor, covered by Colbert. Pass to Young. To the middle to Deja Terrell. Back over to Shaw, wide open for 3. And that's good. Man, Nina Shaw has really been able to find her jumper in these last couple games as she is looking smooth.
She's been on a tear from deep this game. How many makes is that? That's 3 on the night. Maybe 4.
Kimiente over to Colbert. She's looking down low for Abby Miller. Nothing there. She's going to get a screen. The drive, no good, and Young with the rebound. And the Vulcans with a little bit of a 3-on-2 fast break here. Jordan Smith, no good. Nina Shaw with another offensive rebound, and she's going to get fouled on the putback. And like you said, Nina Shaw really picking it up from deep as her 3 baskets tonight are all from beyond the arc. Last game, I believe she was 4 for 5 from beyond the arc, and tonight she is 3 for 6. So definitely getting that 3-point shooting percentage up, and it's helping this team tremendously. First one is good. Back to your point about how these free throws are so crucial in games like this. That now gets the lead up to 8, and another one up to 9. If somehow the Vulcans can get their lead into double digits, I'm sure they will feel a lot more comfortable
I mean, this game has been quick and I say slow at the same time.
Nina Shaw with the steal. She's going to go all the way left hand, and it's good. And just like that, California Vulcans up 11 points here with just under 6 to play. And Nina Shaw with a couple very clutch baskets.
Yeah, just when you thought the momentum wasn't going to shift at all, here goes the Vulcans up now by 11, which to me at this point is just as surprising.
Yeah, to be able to kind of extend your lead, especially this late in the game after having it be such a close game throughout, is crucial for this team. And, I mean, Nina Shaw, like we said, I mean, we can't talk about it enough. When she's able to score for this team and do more than just, be the general of the offense and kind of the orchestrator, it just opens up everybody else's chances. And especially on a night where Jordan Smith is actually held scoreless, you need other people to step up. And Talia Gilliard having 2 big threes early in the first half, and then Nina Shaw kind of getting a couple clutch baskets to start the fourth quarter here. Definitely helping this team out.
Well, yeah. One thing I'd like to point out, right now, Vulcans for the fourth quarter on a 9-0 run. Ship just not able to, with a couple good looks this quarter, just not quite able to get anything to fall.
So far, we are seeing both teams kind of pick up in the shooting percentages, but not by much, as Shippensburg still sitting at just 28%, 15 for 54, and California at 37%, 19 for 51. Teams have combined for 10 total threes, 4 and 6 in favor of California. Shippensburg forgot to put a point guard out there as Colbert has to come back for the ball. And under 5 to go, they are trying to cut this lead down to single digits as it's starting to get out of hand. George, leading scorer of the game, still with 20. Over to Colbert, left corner. Kimiente, who is yet to find the bottom of the basket. Treasure George on the drive with the right hand. No good. A lot of bodies going in there for the rebound. And I mean, an uncontrolled foul there as they were just kind of tied up. As right now, both Harris and Terrell with over 10 rebounds, as Harris has 10 and Terrell with 11. The 1-2 punch down low really for the Vulcans is really helping them out. Jordan Smith top. Like we said, she is held scoreless, but that does not mean she is not making an impact in this game, as she has kind of shut down Treasure George in the second half. Deja Terrell with the jumper at the top of the key, and it's good.
That's another basket. Right now, the only two to score in this fourth quarter are Shaw and Terrell. Shaw with 7, and Terrell now making that 4.
And anytime you can see Deja Terrell make a couple jumpers, whether it be in or outside the three-point line, it is a great sight to see as she kind of extends her range. Treasure George with the step-back jumper. It's going to be off the rim and no good. Harris with her 11th rebound. It's both her and Terrell sitting at 11 rebounds now. Backdoor cut to Jordan Smith. And that's going to be our first basket of the game, as she might have heard us calling her out over here, as that builds the lead up to 15.
Definitely a much-needed shot. Could get Smith going.
And like we said, Smith, I mean, regardless how much she scores, she's always a key contributor in the game. She's been playing some great defense all night. And just her physicality kind of opens up rebounding for the rest of her team, as Shippensburg is not able to look away from her. As we're going into our last media timeout, California now with a 15-point lead. This is more or less what they were expecting coming into this game, as they are now on a 13-0 run to start this quarter.
Man, this fourth quarter, Vulcans have come out different. 13 unanswered points. I mean, this late in the game especially, you can't really, neither side can really afford to give that up. I mean, in this game. And right now, it's, as I mentioned before, the main two contributors for this fourth quarter are Shaw and Terrell. Now, with Smith and that layup now adding to that total. But between Shaw and Terrell, Shaw, just from deep, has been lights out. I think going 50% from deep in this game. Yeah, 3 of 6 in this game so far, so she's been pretty much lights out. Can't really afford to leave her open, I say, at this point in the game. But the Vulcans shooting this fourth quarter has been 5 of 8 from the field, 1 of 1 from three-point land, and 2 of 2 from the foul line. 1 turnover, 1 steal. 1 turnover is definitely a contributor to that stat line. I say this turnovers have just been rampant for both teams so far. When I say rampant, they've just been crazy. 18 for the Vulcans and 16 for Ship. So only being able to keep it to 1 is definitely a good sign. There's never going to be a night where you're going to just have no turnovers altogether as a team, but being able to keep it down for this fourth quarter, so that's definitely a good sign.
Especially in a scrappy game like this. I mean, this is a game where, being a Vulcans fan, we're used to seeing Bermudez hit a couple threes, Iona Williams kind of create for herself, Jordan Smith make a couple baskets, and right now there are combined 9 points between just the 3 of them, which is under all 3 of their averages individually. So it's nice to see contribution coming from more than just those 3. So the skip pass over to Young, and she's going to take a mid-range jumper that's a little long. Deja Terrell with the offensive board and back up 4-2 as she is up to 16 points on the night.
And Terrell just all night has been a presence, a force to be reckoned with inside. Converting off that rebound and layup once again.
As Treasure George, leading scorer in this game still, trying to figure out how to get her team back into it as she takes a deep 3, and that's going to come up short. Iona Williams with the rebound.
And George has just been a thorn in the Vulcan side all night. Just, I'm guessing, this switch-up defensive play styles in this fourth quarter, or the assignments, I guess, and it's just George quite yet to really get a run. Really scored. No one has scored on this Chip team has scored in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, California just putting on an absolute clinic as Iona Williams lays it in there. And they are now on a 17-2 run, I believe. So this is definitely an impressive start to this quarter for California Vulcans.
See, I said no. George did hit a couple of free throws. Nothing from the field, but did hit 2 free throws in this fourth quarter.
And that's going to be an illegal screen there on Michaela Faudrell as she kind of just walked into Nina Shaw, who was covering Colbert at the time, and the Vulcans are going to get it back.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time before they called it. Say any other time, it was close, but it was only a matter of time before they finally called a moving screen.
Leading scorers in this game for the Vulcans so far. Deja Terrell with 16, and we have Nina Shaw with 13. Everybody else under 10, but still a collaborative effort as they are playing a great physical and defensive game, holding Shippensburg to 45. Nina Shaw, top of the key. Covered by Colbert. Letting some time run off the clock. Iona Williams with the ball. Looking down low. She's going to drive. Go up with the right hand. Off the rim and no good. Colbert's going to come the other way. A little 2-on-1 here for Shippensburg. And that's just a tough angle to come in for a layup as she kind of just came straight on. And Jordan Smith coming back with it. 2-on-1, 3-on-1 as Nina Shaw sneaks in at the corner. And she's going to kind of calm it down and let some time run off this clock.
Yeah, right now the Vulcans in no rush to score. Will probably finally just calm down and throw the ball around before just throwing a shot up.
And, it's really a sign of great teams when, you can play a whole game and it's such a close game, and then you come into crunch time in the fourth quarter and they just absolutely come out swinging as they have just capitalized on every opportunity this quarter, which gives them a 17-point lead. As Treasure George from 3, no good. She has kind of slowed down here in the second half, and you have to wonder if that's with the help of Jordan Smith and Young, who have been covering her most of the night. As Shippensburg's got a couple subs getting ready to come in. It looks like maybe, the last little minute here, we'll get a couple new faces in. Nina Shaw on the drive. 5 on the shot clock. Alicia Young, and that's going to be an and one. That is just the icing on the cake here for this Vulcan squad, as they have a chance to get this lead up to 20 with a free throw. Substitutions coming in. Maddie White. Maddie White, we got Mia Johnson and Alexis Bowie. And then for the Vulcans, Kamaya Williams. Deja Terrell finding her spot on the bench. I'm sure she's done for the evening as she finishes the day with 16 points, 13 rebounds, 12 of them coming on the defensive side of the ball, a steal and 3 assists. So great game there by Deja Terrell. She shoots 7 for 13 from the floor. Free throw good, and the Vulcans now have a 20-point lead. I mean, coming into this quarter, we did not see this coming whatsoever.
Was the score basically tied at the start of the fourth quarter, now up 20.
Yeah, I believe it was 45-43 coming into the quarter. So the Vulcans right now on a 20-2 run to end this game, which is quite impressive as
tough shot.
Bella not able to get it to fall, and she's had a struggle of a night from the floor. She is 0 for 8, 0 for 2 from 3. She did get 2 points from the free throw line. As Nina Shaw just winding down these last couple seconds, and this is the best part of any game if you're a basketball player.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking about what you might eat after the game, thinking about, the attitudes of everybody else, and there's the turnover there. And that is Maddie White with the steal. She's going to find Treasure with the pump fake, and she's going to do a step back. Great defense there by Iona Williams as she gets the block. And they could hold it till the end here, but they're going to take a layup as Alicia Young on the receiving end of that Iona Williams feed. As we're winding down the last 10 seconds here, and the Vulcans with a 22-point lead. They're going to get this rebound, and they're just going to call game. Great game here by the California Vulcans. Braxton, you got any closing words?
Yeah, this game was, I kept saying it back and forth from the beginning, but great way from Vulcans just to put together such a great fourth quarter to come out on top. 22 points to end the game.
As the Vulcans will improve to 8-1, Shippensburg falls to 1-8. And thank you for joining us here tonight as we will be getting ready for our men's game against Shippensburg here shortly. California final score is 67-45. California Vulcans. This has been CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network.